Today we are going to learn the distributive property. This is our fifth property. Distributive property is to multiply a sum by a number, multiply each added in by the number outside the parentheses. So here we have two examples. One example, this is just using numbers. So if we see the 2 is outside the parentheses, our distributive property says to multiply this 2 by both numbers inside. So we would multiply 2 times 7 right here, and then 2 times 4 right here. After we multiply those, so 2 times 7 is 14, and 2 times 4 is 8, we would add those together to get 22, and that would be our answer for distributive property using numbers. The one we're most going to use is distributive property using algebra, because we are in our algebra unit. So if we notice, if we have an A, a B, and a C, our A, that number on the outside of the parentheses, we would multiply by the first number, then multiply by the second number. So we would have A times B, and then we would add it to A times C. So you can also combine multiplication and addition within the distributive property. So we just talked about adding, and this is how it would work by multiplying. We would have to multiply 3 times 20, and then 3 times 15. So here we have 3 times 20 first, and whatever our answer is there, we would add it to 3 times 15. Let's practice. Number 1 says generate an expression equivalent to 2 parentheses x plus 3 using the distributive property. So the number in red is the number we are distributing to the other numbers. So we would take 2 and multiply it times x. We would take 2 and multiply it times 3. So 2 times x equals 2x. Then we have 2x that we just solved, and then we would take 2 times 3, which is 6, bring down your 2x, and then we have 2x plus 6 for our final answer. This isn't a numerical answer because we do have x in the problem. Therefore, unless we know what x is, we cannot solve to just one number. Let's do that again. We are going to generate an equivalent expression for 8 parentheses 4 plus x using the distributive property. Again, our number in red is the number we are distributing. So we would multiply 8 times 4 and then add it to 8 times x. So first, 8 times 4 is 32, and then bring down what we have not solved yet, that 8x. Then we have 8 times x. Well, 8 times x, we don't know what x is, so it is just 8x. So 8 parentheses 4 plus x is equal to 32 plus 8x. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 says to generate an expression equivalent to 5 parentheses 9 plus x. So again, we're going to distribute 5 times 9 plus 5 times x. So we have 5 times 9, and we're going to add that to 5 times x. I would like you to finish this problem on your own, and we will check this tomorrow with our table groups. Please press pause now and press play when you are finished. Number 4, factoring the expression. So this is a new definition. Factoring the expression is when algebraic expressions are written as a product of their factors. Let's see what that means by practicing with number 4. Number 4 says factor 3x plus 15 to generate an equivalent expression. So on these problems, when we factor the expression, we're going to work backwards. So we already have our final expression, our final answer here, and we want to see what was distributed. So there are two ways we can do this. The first way is we can look at 3x and we can look at 15. Say what divides into 3x evenly that will also divide into 15 evenly. And that common factor is 3. So we divide 3x by 3 and 15 by 3. Whatever number we're dividing by, we're going to put over here in our final answer because that's the number that was distributed. So then we can say 3 divided by 3, let's cross those out, and that's 1. And then 15 divided by 3 is 5. So we're going to copy down what we have left, which is our 1, our x, and our 5. So we have 1x, which is just x, plus 5. Let's check our answer. If I take 3 parentheses x plus 5, that means we're going to get our original number 3x plus 15. So let's distribute, multiplying 3 times x plus 3 times 5. 3 times x is 3x plus 3 times 5. 3 times 5 is 15. Therefore, 3x plus 15 equals 3 parentheses x plus 5. Let's go to number 5. Number 5 says to factor 16 plus 4x to generate an equivalent expression. So I said there were two ways to do this. The first way is the way we did on example 4. The second way is that we could take a factor tree and we could factor out 16 and 4. If we take the factors of 4, we have 2 times 2, and those are primes, so we would circle those. Factors of 16 is 4 times 2, circle 2, and then 4, 2 times 2. So then we would look at the numbers that we have circled, and we would see the numbers that 16 and 4 have in common. 4 only has 2 2's. So we look over at 16 and see, do they have 2 2's? They do. So we would take 2 times 2 and 2 times 2, which is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Therefore, that's the greatest factor that these two have. So we would, and this is just to help us figure out what we're factoring out. That means that our 4 goes outside of the parentheses because that's the greatest factor that goes in there. Then we would have to divide 16 by 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. And then we would divide 4x by 4, which is 1, leaving us with just an x. So 16 plus 4x is equal to 4 parentheses 4 plus x. Number 6. Number 6 is the same factor that we just did. If you would like, you can factor out 7 and 42 to get the number that you're going to divide by. Or if you already know, you may go ahead and factor out, but I would like you to do this on your own. We will check tomorrow with our table groups. Please press pause now and press play when you are confident in your answer. Okay, once you are finished with that, I would like you to complete the summary questions. Please remember to answer in complete sentences. And if you have any questions, please place them in this area. If you have no questions of confusion and you are confident about what you are doing, please write down a problem for your table group to solve tomorrow.